Well, it's the travel season, or should I say December? Exactly. You're winding up your year, probably been working the whole year trying to save up to give your family a good time and maybe yourself some time off. And who facilitates these travel companies? So I'm joined by Senior Vanessa Stetzner. That's right, or Senior Nashipae from Travel with Nashipae on the launch today, and we are talking matters to do with travel and so on. And she has a great story, coming into Kenya as a volunteer and so on, and then getting to set up a second home here, and now engaging in issues to do with travel and so on. First, let me just ask, one of your first experiences coming into Kenya was getting to live with the Maasai, and that is something we're really so proud of. Whenever you see a Maasai shuka or someone dressed up as a Maasai, the first thing that comes to your mind is definitely Kenya. Tell me about your first experience touching or getting in touch with that quote-unquote indigenous community from Kenya now.
Yeah. When I came to Kenya, I was very interested in the Maasai tribe. I mean, that is what is Kenya known for. Mm-hmm. And I don't like traveling just going as a tourist. So what I did, I got a friend who connected me with a Maasai or with a Maasai family. Mm-hmm. So I got the chance to live by myself for a few weeks in a Maasai village. Mm-hmm. So I had so many questions and I got the chance to experience that firsthand. So I was living in their manhattas, in their huts. Mm-hmm. I had my own room. So in the morning, I was joining the moms. We went to the river, we were carrying the water. Mm-hmm. The kids made a lot of fun. I tried to carry the bottles with myself on my head. Didn't work. So they were very heavy. I also tried to help the moms cooking in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. But honestly, it's very tricky for me to be in a kitchen where there's a lot of fume and all the flies around. Right. So I couldn't even stay inside the hut. I had to be outside. So if I wanted to peel some potatoes or anything, I had to do it outside. Mm.
And I think this is the beauty of it all. When you get to travel and actually get into the shoes of someone else, it gets you a little uncomfortable, but an amazing experience, I have to say. You even got a name from there, Nashipae. Tell me about that.
Yeah. My host father gave me that name, and it's a typical Maasai name, and it means a person who always smiles.
Wow.
And I'm so honored to got that name. So when I started my own company, I made that experience I had. I wanted to honor that, and so I took that name as a business name. So my company is called Travel with Nashipae.
Right.
Just me.
Amazing. And people get to travel with you. Tell me about this. You describe yourself as someone who is obsessed with creating memorable experiences and travel, adventures and hello safaris right here in Kenya. Tell me about Travel with Nashipae.
Yeah. What makes Travel with Nashipae different to others, or let's say unique, is that I focus on personalized safaris. Mm-hmm. Of course, we do all the standard safaris. We go to Masai Mara, Amboseli, we have all these trips. Mm-hmm. But what I'm looking for is to give people or volunteers or travelers, also locals especially, the feeling to be home. Like, we take them to Maasai village. They can experience the same I experienced with Maasai. We take them to Umoja Women's Village, which is a village where only women live in Samburu.
Right, you mentioned that, and I think we'll be getting back to that a little bit later on. That's actually the last safari you did?
No, the last safari, I'm just back from Sunday.
Lake Magadi, you mentioned.
From Lake Magadi,
right.
Exactly.
Tell me about the experience, and why exactly was it important that even people went for that?
It was more a local trip, so everyone wants to have fun and to enjoy. So what else can you do on a Sunday, apart from going to church?
Right.
So what we did is, we were just going with a bus to Lake Magadi, and we had fun. I don't know if you've been there, the hot springs. It's really hot. It's like you're walking and you always burn your legs. So you can swim. Next to it, you can see the flamingos. After that, we went to a swimming pool, because that's when you actually can really swim and have fun.
Right. You can do it in the hot springs.
Yeah.
So maybe a question regarding why exactly people need to spend their money traveling, because a lot of us miss that point. You work 8 to 5, 24 hours a day, maybe 7 days a week, especially for us in the media, you get to do that a lot. Why should someone take time off and just wind off and maybe put some money, I'd say, aside for just travel and adventure? Why is it important?
Now imagine yourself, you're working the whole day. So now create some time for yourself. Traveling is investing your money, but not in something material. It's investing your money back into yourself. So always when you travel, you get some experience. What is so important on a trip, even on Sunday, I met a very nice lady. You create friendships and experiences, fun, and also you learn a lot about different cultures, different places. And I think it's the most, even for me, I've been traveling in Kenya now since more than 4 years. But still, I go to places which I've never been before.
Wow.
And that's what I call traveling.
Right. New adventure daily.
Yeah.
That's right. Let's now go back to your home country, Germany. And now, tell me about your travel experience there. Were you more of a domestic tourist while you were back in Germany, or this is something you grew when you came into Kenya now?
It completely grew here. I have never ever been really interested into traveling. Of course, I used to, especially my parents, they took me to holidays in Italy, in Spain, in France, just around Europe. But I was more the kind of person who got raised up to go to a beach holiday. So spending the whole day at the beach in a good hotel. But when I came the first time to Africa, which was Ghana in my case, it's when I learned how to travel as a backpacker.
Right.
Like you just go with your bag for 2 months, 3 months, you travel, you don't even know what's going to happen. You don't know the country, you meet different people, then you decide you go here, you go for safari. So it's a completely different kind of a new kind of a traveling.
Wow, and that has to be activating a lot of life in you. I can actually see it through you. Now, tell me about how you get to reach to your clientele at Travel with Nashipae.
We have a lot of different sources. So I have started my own children's home in Kenya. So, or let's say now it's a daycare center.
Wow.
So since I'm here, I have a lot of volunteers and friends coming over. So I actually started with international traveler. But now I'm focusing more on local clients. Because for myself, I find it just unfair. All my friends can come and travel. They go to Masai Mara. Safari is known, especially Masai Mara. But now, what's about you? Have you ever seen a lion or a giraffe? So most of the Kenyans, they wish to do it, but they don't have the chance. So I found myself now starting doing the local tourism so that Kenyans have the chance to explore their own country.
Right. And I think even right here at the station, quite a lot of my colleagues never understand it when I get away on weekends and so on. Like, okay, well, you guys need to go get away, actually. Yeah. Travel Nashipae is here to facilitate that. And you mentioned now you have your children's home, now a daycare set up in Kenya. I want to go to that side of you before we come back now onto the company, especially this December season. You have to be excited as a company, I'd say. But tell me about your background as a volunteer. You actually came to Kenya as a volunteer teacher, I'd say. Why that calling? It's a lot of miles away from home, I'd say, but you still came to just give your services. What really inspired that in you?
When I was a student, as a teacher, I went to Ghana the first time. So I experienced a completely new lifestyle in Africa. It has changed my life. So I got that, let's say that feeling, that adventurous feeling in myself. And I just told myself, when I have done my university, I want to travel for at least half a year in a different country in Africa. So it just happened to be Kenya.
Right.
And when I came here, I just fell in love, like with the country. And I didn't know that giving back to kids means so much to me. So that's why I can say traveling has really changed my life. I was never meant to be like, to live in Africa or to start my own daycare center. That was never my plan. So, but when I came here and I saw the kids, especially the street kids, I started working with them. Everything has changed.
Right.
So now I cannot go back.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
So you mentioned that traveling really it changed your imagination and how life would even turn out for you after university and so on. So I think this is a point from which you'd even call out just for people to go get out and get new experiences. I'd say your best travel destination in Kenya. I'm just curious.
That's a tricky question. Best.
But it could even be KUTV studios. Who knows? Go ahead.
Of course. No, what I love is to discover places I've never ever been. Like now, I have to go back to Umoja Women's Village.
Umoja Women's Village. Tell me about the experience there.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know about the place. I had a volunteer. She volunteered at my daycare center, and she was telling me, Zinia, we have to go there. We have to go there. So I'm going on research, and I tell her, that's like 6 hours from Nairobi. Are you crazy? No, we just hire a car. We do a road trip. I said, all right. I got us a driver and a car, and we went there without calling anyone, knowing anyone. So we met the ladies there in the Umoja Women's Village because they're always there, they live there. So they welcomed us really nice. And you know, it's the thing when you go to a place and you don't even know the destination, like you don't even know where you're heading to.
Right, you're that type of girl. Go ahead.
So they welcomed us so nice with this traditional Samburu dance, and all they were dressed like. I knew this kind of like tribe from the Maasai, which I'm living in. It's quite similar. But then to know about all their stories and why they have actually created that women's village, it's what made me what made this place so special for me.
Wow. Umoja Women's Village. I can't even go to create a story out of that. An exclusively women's village. How is that? And why exactly was it even created in the first place? What did you pick from there?
Okay, it was created in 1990 by Rebecca Lolosoli. She's a Samburu woman. And why they have created it is that they want to protect the women. They have a lot of issues in the Samburu tribe. So they protect each other against the FGM, the early first marriages, the abuse. And also the problem is when, let's just assume the early first marriages. The kids, the ladies or the girls, they get married when they are like around 12 years. Then they get married to a much more older man, which is like between 30 and even 60 years old. So what means is mostly the girls have to go with the man to his village, which is a different village. And by this time, the education of the girls will stop.
And they don't even have choices in that.
Yes.
Umoja Women's Village. Yeah. Amazing. Tell me about your plans for December. I think somebody mentioned, we were in November last week when we were doing the show, and someone mentioned that November is the Thursday of the year. So tell me what you have planned out for the Friday of the year.
Yeah. Okay, we have so many trips, and I myself, I have planned so many things. Okay, we have actually now, this weekend, we are starting traveling to Zanzibar. We have a local trip there. But guys, you're too late, it's already booked out.
Wow.
And in 2 weeks, on 15th, we are going to Moshi Arusha. Then at the end of the year, it's like my big event. The company wants to discover hidden places in Kenya. So we want to promote places which no tours and travel company is doing right now. And for myself, for our company, we have figured out one place in Kenya, that's the desert. So it's Chalbi and Northern Desert.
Right.
So what we are doing is, just can you imagine yourself being in the desert for like 3 days, riding on a camel, walking, just followed by an overland truck or a Land Rover. Then you have your tent, you have your local securities and your guides with you, and you just enjoy the silence of the desert.
Right.
So that's a huge event, and it will be our first time, end of December. And that's the big event we are having.
Amazing. Great. You mentioned something really special coming up in April 2019. You know, I'm already excited for the next year. We've not even finished 2018 yet, but you did mention it to me, and I really need my viewers to be well aware because it's something we can't keep from them. Amazing. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So what we are doing, or what we are planning, and if you check out the Facebook page, it's already there, the event is created.
Right.
So we just have limited plots for this event. So what we are doing is, of course, Masai Mara is known. And I know that also Kenyans have the wish to go to Masai Mara, but going to Masai Mara, you have to go at least 3 days, which is on a budget. It's around 16,000, 15,000, but I don't think you can find it anywhere in the market cheaper than 15,000. So what we are going to offer, it's actually me and my partner. I'm partnering with another local tours and travel company.
Wow.
We are offering this trip for 9,500 Kenyan shilling. And that is at Easter, in the Easter holidays.
Wow.
So you need to be early.
A lot to look forward to. And how can someone follow some of these events and arrangements so that they are not quote unquote locked out of event of I'd say travel plans like going to Zanzibar on Facebook?
Yeah.
Right.
They can reach me through Facebook, through my email, through Instagram or Twitter. We are available everywhere in the social media.
Amazing.
They just have to Google the name or search the name Travel with Nashipae. It's a very unique name.
Right.
They will find us.
Travel with Nashipae. right there, everybody. So this is what she says of herself. Travel with Nashipae is a tour and travels company that designs exquisite tours and safari packages that fit your tourist interests. So it's all centered on you. So from the budget to the luxury. So it is all catered for right there. So this is a unique opportunity to combine bush and beach adventure in Kenya's spectacular scenery. I love the way you say that. Senior Nashipae is asking you to join her and other tourists in the journey to discover the most unforgettable lifetime experiences right there. So go check her out on travelwithnashipae.com as well as Travel with Nashipae on Facebook. You can go book your tours from there, contact her from there. And I think that will be much more of it. See you guys in December. Well, Senior, danke, dass Sie mit mir gesprochen haben.
Bitteschön. Karibu.
Well, stick with Biashara Tuesday. Quite a lot more lined up for you after this short breather.